there have been quite a few questions lately about DAW integration markers, specifically with Studio One. I'm going to go over two ways that you can approach it because Studio One's a little unusual with marker import. Inside your project, you'll have this import-export button, and you're going to export the DAW markers for Studio One relative to the start of the book. If you do recordings chapter by chapter, you can use this relative to the start of each chapter or section. For this purpose, we're going to do the whole book, and you export it and it will give you a MIDI file. But that's the file that you work with, assuming you have already gone through your entire project, marked which ones are annotations. So that export is the markers for your pickup packet. In Studio One, you have your whole book set up. This demo packet looks like 23 minutes long. Now, it is important that the exact files that were in Pozotron are the exact files that are in this session. They don't necessarily have to be single files like this. You can have them edited, but whatever it is that went into Pozotron has to be the same thing that's here. Otherwise, your markers aren't going to line up with the right parts of the text. From here, what you do is say File, Open, and you open the MIDI file that you exported. You don't need to load the general MIDI sounds, and it will open up an entirely new project. When you open up the marker track, though, you'll see all of these described markers up at the top. This is every marker that was in the export, so this is every marker that was in your Pozotron project. From here, you have something selected up at the top, hit Command A, and then Command C. You're going to copy this track back over to the other project. So when you go to View, Songs, you go back to where you were. Make sure that your playhead is all the way at the beginning, and then right-click and say Paste. And it will put all of the markers right where they need to be. This eye over here will open and shut all of the descriptions. You'll notice that there's two start and end tags. That's just because of the way Studio One works. One of them you'll be able to delete because it's not the official end, but make sure that you move them out of the way. So when you're doing your pickups, when you go to where it is, you'll see that that's where your pickup is going to be. Oh, you can also add better descriptions by right-clicking and saying Create Arranger Sections, and that you can see better what the descriptions are. So there's a word missing right there, auto, and it should be marked as filtered out. So it should be marked as auto filtered out. So each of these descriptions are matched up with the timestamp where it is. And if you move backwards, you can do your pickups from the end to the beginning. And I think it's Shift B. Yep. Shift B will take you back one by one, and then you can do your pickups however you're most comfortable. So if you already have a session with your audio files in it, and you import your MIDI file this way by cutting and pasting from a new track, everything will be completely synced up, and you won't ever have to type in timestamps to figure out where things are. And all of the descriptions are built into this arranger track, as well as this marker track over here on the left. The other way to approach this, if you go back to that MIDI file, if you open up the MIDI file first, so you just have these up at the top there, you can, if you want, go to where your files are and click and drag them into that. So if you hit the command button, it will put them all in a line. So you click, drag over, hit the command button, and then let go. And you'll notice it does the exact same thing. Again, that end key is in the way. But these two will now be identical. You have the exact files and the exact markers all lined up exactly how you want. Thanks for listening, and if you have any questions, feel free to email us and we'll get right back to you.